Hello. So recently I was sent to one of the local offices of education to do some consultation with a group of native English teachers there. Usually when we're sent there, I'll go with someone else and we'll do presentations. And I got tasked with doing a presentation for elementary school teachers before my consultation, which is more of my specialty. But for this, I kind of thought about how I would approach elementary school students and what tips I could give the teachers. So I relied on my experience here in the center, back teaching, and also through my studies when I was looking at graduate school for the Young Learners program course I was taking. Um, and I drew from a lot of different things. And I came up with an approach looking at the characteristics of young language learners. Obviously, there are a lot of characteristics of young language learners, but I tried to narrow it down to a few. So, first, what are the characteristics of young language learners? Okay, so there are a lot of different ones. I was able to narrow it down to six that I thought was good and reasonable within a 40-minute presentation. I'll do it a bit faster today without the audience. So first, they're very active. They have a short attention span. They enjoy learning through play. They can parrot what they see or hear. They copy us very well. They can respond well to our praise. And they're very limited in their language and life experiences. So looking at number one, elementary students are very active. I'll talk about this. Children need physical movement. Not only children, but adults and right through to our later years in life. Everyone needs physical movement. One of the most interesting concepts to me watching my young son develop now as a toddler is this concept of maximum exertion. So maximum exertion is really good for a toddler's development. And basically what they do is carry things that are very large or at their maximum amount of effort. And they try to carry these around and it helps in their development. This may be more physical, but it made me think about children and their physical needs in general. And going up through elementary, students still have physical needs. And we, even as teachers, have physical needs, and we should be physically active. And those that live the long, healthy lives that tend to stay mentally alert and physically healthy lead physical lives. So I came to the conclusion children need physical movement. I also noticed through my experience that lessons that are active will increase the enjoyment for your students. And by generally increasing enjoyment for your students, you increase their motivation in learning English. They begin to learn without realizing it. They're having fun and learning your class very well. And now these days, we're seeing a lot of studies that are showing that activity is related to learning. So it helps with acquisition. It helps with them actually retaining and being able to use this language in the future. So how do we implement this into our class? This was one of the easier ones for me, but we can start with an active classroom layout. Design your classroom so your students can move in it. Now, I understand that this can be fixed sometimes, especially if we're visiting classrooms, but if you have your own English only zone or own classroom, try to make a space where there is room for physical activity. This could be as simple as a side aisle of the classroom or a middle aisle that is deleted to give you a little bit of room. And you can use that aisle for movement, okay? If not that, I mean, students can stand at their chairs and do physical movement there. Now, the other thing is adding some personality and vitality to your space, using color, using signage, using props and different things. Studies will show that this can be distraction to younger students, very young students, but for elementary aged, this can be encouraging to them to participate, to have fun, and to be more active in the class. So bring in some of who you are in the class and make it look fun, make it look bright, make it look happy for them. I'll start active. Elementary, especially young, they love singing. So I'll start with something song like the hello song, where I will be waving and moving and dancing. I'm good, I'm great, I'm wonderful. So I'll be using something like this where there's a little bit of physical activity. It doesn't have to be maximum exertion. It needs to be just some physical activity. Okay, I won't go in, but we'll stay active throughout the class. And I know this is touching on a song again, but it helps me by giving the example. So this time we're using the banana song. So they're saying, you know, form bananas, form bananas, peel bananas, peel bananas, go bananas, go bananas. So they're actually doing different things and using this actual language. Okay. The peel and form language might not be, you know, the best language, but you know, if banana is your target, they're picking up a couple extra words bonus. When they're taught later, they'll probably catch them quite easy. Add movement throughout the class. So if I was doing colors, I'll use colors a lot in this presentation, but if I was using colors, here's an example. I have my students walking around the class. Blue, I see something blue. So we're singing together, blue, I see something blue, 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 I see something blue, find something blue. The students must run, find something blue, and then they say, this is blue, or they show their blue object. Okay. Try to add actions into stories or any songs, as we saw with songs. Here is a story I use. It actually comes from a yoga lesson I do, and I bring the story into the yoga lesson. So in this sentence, he hiked a high mountain. We would have learned the mountain pose. So the mountain pose for this is up and down. So they're doing this simple movement, and they're seeing the mountain in this, the high mountain. So this is attaching this to some TPR, and it's helping them to be physical and help them with retention of the language. Another way to add movement in this, you only need a small space or an aisle, is something like hopscotch. I can put the numbers down, call the numbers, they jump, or they just play hopscotch normally. They throw the rock or whatever you want to use, a beanbag. I could do it with short and long vowel sounds, or I can change it up to whatever I want to use in practice. Okay, but it's a great way to bring in some physical activity, and the kids hopefully will have fun doing it. Okay, here I can also do some sort of obstacle course. This one's quite thorough with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different stations, but you could use one, or you could use a couple of these and together with another one. So the first one, we can see animals. They're calling the animal names, maybe making the animal noise. Next, they say the fruit, and they jump the line, jump to the next line. Colors, again, maybe here I have them hop from red. They're calling red, yellow, orange, green, blue, purple as they're hopping. Maybe jump again, circle, square, triangle, heart, star, and then the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a circle and go to the finish. So I could use just one of these just to add minor physical movement in there, or I can do them in a series and have it a bit more. Okay, so moving on to number 2, the young students have a short attention span, and what the studies are showing is that the attention span of students is about 2 to 3 minutes per year of their age. So if we're looking at an elementary school student age 10, that is 20, 30 minutes max. Now, going to the max, that's the maximum that they can really focus, but we don't really want to be maxing them out. That will get boring for them. Even the 20-minute threshold, I believe, is a bit long. Generally, I'll introduce some material, and then I'll try to change activities multiple times within an elementary class to keep that focus, refocusing, starting over, refocusing, starting over, refocusing, so it's not a burden to the students. Okay, so lots of short, simple activities, and I'll show you some examples in the implementation here. So the first thing I'll look at is various students' needs. that the first example I showed you, keeping a physical starting active, keeping it active, bringing activity into songs and things like that. It was very musical, and for me as a student, I wasn't very musically inclined or intelligent. So for me, that would have been difficult. But if they would have did something that was body smart or word smart, I would excel in. So by doing multiple intelligences in your class, you give different students opportunities to excel and do well in class. The other consideration is these settling and stirring activities. If I'm focusing on settling activities, whether I'm doing it consciously or not, my class can be very boring. A settling activity would be something like coloring, drawing, writing. This requires the student to sit for a long time, not doing anything physical. If I do this for a 40-minute class with elementary, it could be very boring. It could be very difficult in the later minutes to keep them focused and even behaving. But if I incorporate some stirring activities within this, even a rotation, stirring, settling, a stirring activity being something where they're up moving, something such as a find someone who, where they have to go ask another student, do you like hamburgers? Yes, and they write that student's name. So they're up physical moving around. Now, in preparation of my lesson, I really need to consider, do I need stirring activities? Do I need settling activities? What is the best for my context? What is the best for the students that I will be teaching, knowing what I know about them? And I may even want to have two different types of activities that I can choose from, one being a stirring, one being a settling activity, depending on the mood of that class, which we know can be hit or miss or from day to day. Another cool concept is something called fun intervals or attention breaks. So with this, the physical activity that you're incorporating into the class doesn't necessarily need to be educational, in the sense that if I was doing something where it requires their concentration and I want to give them a break from that focus, I can have them get up and do some stretches, I can have them do some dance, I can have them do anything, jumping jacks, just to get the blood flowing and break that focus before getting them back to focus again. So this we could call a fun interval. And although it's not educational, I could make it, it's helping them to regain their focus. Okay. So we can use chants. So there are a lot of different chants. So the first one that I can use is 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. And the students would say 1, 2, 3, eyes on you. Now, I know a lot of people know about chants, and I think more often than not, they are used as a way of getting attention. Okay, they're great attention getters, yes, but they can also add fun and physical activity into your classroom, and that's where I want to focus on them. So just by saying this out loud and maybe adding some pointing or something into it, you get a little bit of physical element to it. Okay, this one, mac and cheese, everyone freeze. So in this case, mac and cheese, the students say, everyone freeze, and they freeze wherever they may be at that time. Okay, here I can make your hands clap, students. So the students clap when they hear that. So it's just bringing some fun into the class. The students can be working on something, and all of a sudden I will say this, I can make your hands clap, and the students will clap. Now the students really have a lot of fun with these chants, so I can bring them in at any time. One that is very suitable to Korea, maybe Dae Hanmin Guk. Dae Hanmin Guk. I can change that up. Red, yellow, green, blue. Red, yellow, green, blue. So I can change this to whatever I want, whatever I'm focusing on. And then they would do the clap part. So they're getting a little bit of physical activity, and then they're getting back on their attention. They're going to have a lot of fun doing it. I can add in any old clapping pattern. So now the students have to mimic that clapping pattern. So it keeps them focused on the teacher a bit, but then it gives them a break from whatever they're doing. And this can be very fun. I can sing out suddenly zippity doo dah, and the students, my oh my, and they say the blue. Okay. Anytime in the class, I can say this, and it just instills some excitement and fun. And the last one I'll touch on today, when I say handsome, you say teacher. Handsome, teacher. Handsome, teacher. You can change this up to whatever you want. It doesn't matter. The idea is that you're using some kind of fun, exciting thing to get the kids, kind of giving them a little bit of that break or fun interval. Okay. So moving on, number 3, they enjoy learning through playing. The children have no defined purpose for learning language. They're not thinking about their future career. They're not thinking about making money. They're only thinking about play and having fun. So it's best for us to make our lesson fun and engaging for them, so it is suitable for what they are looking for. And students learn by doing. Let them see, let them do, let them play, let them touch as much as possible. The more senses they can use, the better, as often we will hear. The textbook can be good, but can also be very detrimental to the fun aspect and the physicality aspect of the lesson. So with that, the textbook can be used as a guide. So I will use the textbook as a guide to look at the language that is needed for the lesson. So what is the target language for this lesson? What is the target language for this semester? So that textbook will give me the target language. Once I have that target language, I can now plan my lessons around it, and that should be suitable throughout the semester. Okay. A common complaint of Korean English teachers is that the native English teachers are giving material that is too difficult for the students. So this is a good way of gauging what level you should be preparing by looking at the textbook. Then take that material and deliver it in a more engaging and fun way, maybe with some activities, something fun with it. Okay. And with the young kids, anything can be turned into a game or competition. It can be as simple as making it a race. It can be as simple as saying it angrily, saying it happily, saying it sad. Okay. So we can change how we do that and just make it fun for the kids. So implementation, let's look at it. I'm looking at fun with flashcards. We see too many teachers going through our flashcards that are mostly upside down, but yeah. So one thing I like to use with flashcards, and it's not so physical, but uses visualization, I find real good. So I have here my 4 flashcards. You can only see this is from a yoga lesson. So it's a frog, it's a butterfly, a cow, and a dog. So what I would do is turn over, here is my cow, turn it over, and now they have to memorize again: frog, butterfly, cow, dog. Next, I have the butterfly turned over. So frog, butterfly, cow, dog. The frog is turned over. Frog, butterfly, cow, dog. The dog is turned over. Cow, fly, butterfly, dog, etc. So I even messed that up, but the students will always remember it. So, and it gets them visualizing and relating that word to an actual picture, so they can really memorize it. So looking at these flashcards, again, I'll usually use about 7 flashcards, usually with maybe them knowing at least 4 of them, and maybe a couple that are maybe not so common that they might not know yet, or I'm introducing them. So I want to challenge them a little bit, but not make it too easy. Another thing I can do, I could have, let's say I have my 5 flashcards here, and I put them all up on the board, but I keep one, and they need to guess what this one is. In this case, it is a cat. Okay, So first one was a memory game. The next is vanishing flashcards. Next, I could do matching, and with this, I would need 2 sets of flashcards. Okay, one set could be the pictures, and the other set could be matching or corresponding pictures, and then they have to flip them and get them matching. And if they get it, they get points for their team. The other way I could do it is have the picture, and the other one could have the word cat. So they need to match cat with the actual word for cat. Okay, and that gives the students just something as simple as flipping it is a little bit of physicality for them. 4 corners, what's your favorite animal? They have to run to the corner that has their favorite animal, whether it be cat, dog, caterpillar, butterfly, whatever the choices may be. Musical flashcards is another one. With this one, I put the flashcards out on the floor. I play some music. When the music stops, I call a flashcard. The goal is to get that flashcard. So the person probably closest to it will grab that flashcard. Now they keep that flashcard. At the end of the musical flashcards, the person with the most flashcards has the most points, is the winner. Paper, rock, scissors, flashcard race. So this one, I have my flashcards maybe along the front of the classroom. I have a lot of them. And I have a team on one side and a team on the other side. They have to walk on the flashcard, say the flashcard. So they're walking, they come and meet. When they meet in the middle, they have to have a paper, rock, scissors battle. The winner, okay, here, the winner keeps going and the loser has to go to the start and the next person comes. This person comes and challenges them on whatever flashcard they meet. Then again, they win. This team really wants to win now, or this person is going to get very close. The goal is to get to the other side. If they do, they're the winner. So it's a great way of getting them saying it fast and bringing some energy into it. Now, this last one sounds very simple, but it can get really fun and quite funny. So it's called Pass the Flashcard. So here I have a caterpillar, a snake, I have a cat. So what I'll do, maybe have them in a circle, or you could do it up and down the aisles, however you want to. I give the first student a flashcard. They have to say it, pass it, the next student says it. Okay, so it's very simple. Caterpillar, caterpillar, they're passing along. But then I introduce a second one. Now we have 2 of them going around at the same time. Add in another one, add in another one, add in another one. Eventually they're saying words very quickly as they're passing them, and they need to keep it in order. So they're actually studying it and starting to remember them without actually realizing it. Okay. Number 4, the students are really good at parroting what they hear. And, sometimes rote memorization gets a bad rep, but when the students are very good at this, it is something that we can use to our advantage. But we need to keep it simple, so it's something that hopefully they do understand, and start with the basics and drill it. Okay, so we're starting easy, they're repeating it and drilling it, and then maybe progressing in substitution with that. Okay. We don't need grammar explanations for young students. This is a little bit difficult and more at a middle school level. We just need to do it, and they will pick it up innately and be able to use it without any explanation. Another complaint, or maybe this is a personal pet peeve of mine, is that when I'm seeing students reach the middle school or even high school or even adults that I'm dealing with, too many of them can't use articles properly. And I attribute some of the blame to the teachers throughout their career not using them properly with them. And I even see native teachers doing this, where they're dropping articles or they're eliminating parts of the sentence to what they do. What they think they're doing is simplifying the language, but they're setting them up for failure in the end. So in the case I'll use next, I think I use I drink some milk. Okay, so I want to exaggerate that article where I think that problem area is, and then that will help them learn it. Okay, so implementation, here we go. I practice my vocabulary, juice, milk, soda, and I might use it with flashcards or some other way, or it could be just drilling it. And then I look at the sentences. I drink some juice, I drink some milk. Okay, so we're practicing these sentences now. Okay, for the articles, I might want to exaggerate. I drink some milk. So they know 1, 2, 3, 4. I drink some milk. So when they're saying this back, they have to say for the student, I drink some milk. Okay, so I'm having them focus on the amount of words to realize that there is a word that is missing to really get them to pick up on that. I'll often drill with something as simple as I, you, we, they, he, she, it, so they know drink, drinks. They'll pick up on the I, you, we, they, he, she, it very quickly, but it's good practice, and it's just a way of getting it, really in there for future. Then I'll add in a question because, language is reciprocal, so I want them to be able to ask and answer questions with each other and have them practice that. Okay, and here could be an example of 3 activities I could do with this. This is very simple, but I tried to keep it very realistic towards an authentic elementary lesson. I have 3 different ones here, and one is singing a song. I'm thirsty. I want some milk. The other one is a worksheet where I have them practicing writing. Too many kids are showing up in the middle school and they can't even write. So we need to focus on that. And if we see they're struggling, we need to start something as simple as ABC with tracing sheets and practice to have them practice writing. Same thing with phonics. We need to start with those basic phonics. We really need to get those basics down so they're ready for middle school. So if we're not, we're setting them up for failure. In this one, they can have cold drinks. They write the cold drink, cola, the milk, water, and then the hot ones. They can have tea, coffee, ones I like, I don't like. So some practice writing here. And the last one, dice game, very simple. They roll a die. Here they get 3, which is cola. So they have an opportunity to get 3 points for the team. The next team rolls 4, they get water. So I'll give the points to the team with the higher roll as long as they can create the sentence. So they get 4 points for their team. This team doesn't get any points. Then they roll again, and they just keep adding their points. Simple. Anything can be turned into a game. You can adapt this and change it however you want, but you can make it a game very easily. Okay, moving on. Here are some other kind of short activities. This one I've done with color. 4 very different ones. I could do stations, but this gets complicated with elementary kids. I could just do them in sequence. So one being the writing sheet where they see the word, they trace the word, they write the word. Okay, and then they see an object that has a color by numbers, so they can see red, and they have to practice with red. So first, they need to distinguish the colors. 1, blue, so they got to find blue. What is blue and color it. The next one is very easy, but blocks, and they put the blocks in the corresponding buckets. So the red block goes in the red bucket, and they count them while they're doing it. So this gives them practice in counting, and then I'd ask them to record how many red blocks there are, how many blue blocks there are. I could even have them do a line, a red line for each one, a blue line for each one. So just having them practice speaking and saying it. And the last one is matching, as I mentioned before. So 4 simple short activities for one topic color that they could do in a class. Okay. Next, students respond very well to praise. Okay. They're looking for approval from a young age. Already my son is trying to help me in the house. He sees me cleaning something, he comes over and wipes it up. And elementary kids generally still want to really impress us and show us that they are good and look for our approval. It's not till middle school when they start rebelling a bit. Well, maybe elementary, but more in middle school. They need to experience success, and I know teachers generally are making their lessons easy enough so that most kids can be successful, and we're pretty conscious of students who may have issues, and we're trying to provide them with some opportunity to be successful. But keep in mind that all students need this to help them develop and feel good. And they also have this emotional need to feel safe. We're getting a little bit Maslow'y here, but they do want to feel safe and comfortable in your classroom. Okay, so the implementation of this, I look at a humanistic whole person education approach. So I'm looking to develop self-esteem, self-confidence, make them feel comfortable, make them feel safe in my classroom so they're able to speak out freely, they're able to interact freely, and feel happy doing it. Okay. One thing I can do is incorporate choice. Now, some people say, well, how do I incorporate choice with students as young as elementary? Well, one thing could be the activity. So if I had those 4 activities, what would you rather do? Would you rather do this color by number or this writing sheet? Okay, I can have them both ready, very easy, and then they choose the one they want to do. I could also say, well, you like this game? Would you like to continue playing this game? Or would you like to try this game? So I'm giving them choice again. Okay? So little things like this help them develop some choice and is good for their classroom. Okay? Again, target the various intelligence. This is so we give everyone a chance of being successful and doing the things that they're good at. Right? Creativity is also good, so give them chances to express this in the classroom at different times. Okay, I would like to establish goals and even self-evaluation with students as young as elementary. The goals could be very simple. We will learn to talk about feelings and then tell them what feelings are. Self-evaluation could be a sheet at the end where they're write a happy face if they feel they can do it well, okay face if it's okay, and a sad face if they feel it is too difficult. And it's a given, but develop rapport with your students. This helps them feel safe. If they like you, they trust you. So, that dynamic in the classroom with Korean teachers is a little bit different. We want them to be friendly with us and to feel secure, especially, coming in as a foreigner where sometimes they might be a little bit cautious of us. Group work is also something really excellent. It helps them because they can observe what other people do, and that can give them an idea of what level they should be. So it's a really great self-evaluation tool for the students, and it's a great way for them to learn from others. So don't underestimate the value of group work with your elementary school kids. Okay, last, they're limited in their language experience, okay? And this is with their language, and this is with their life skills also. So we have to keep this in mind when preparing their lessons, that they do have minimal, so keep our language simple from what they would learn, maybe looking back at their last year's textbook to see what they learned or the year before, to have an idea what they would have covered and what they should know, and starting with that. And then also with their life experience, things that they might know and what they might not have experienced yet. On the bright side, they do lack a language ego. They're not shy about speaking out. They're not worried about looking cool. That uncertainty avoidance is very low, and they expect that from us as a teacher to be kind of fun and entertaining, that edutaining. They're expecting us to be goofy, silly, singing, playing. I'm a terrible singer, but I'll sing with the students, and they'll even laugh at me singing, but I'll do it and have fun with them. Implementation, we want to make it basic and meaningful. Focus on the fundamentals. Look at the book, see what you should be teaching based on that level. Incorporate that and drill it, and then implement it in a fun way for them. We want to avoid anything abstract at the young age. Save that for middle and high school. And plan the lessons on things that they may have experienced. So what are some things that they would know at this age? And making learning meaningful means relating it to them with something that they like, love, or feel passionate about. So great examples with young kids are show and tell, or who their role model is. They really want to speak about these people or this thing because they really like it. Okay. Another good thing is hands-on learning. They like to learn by seeing, doing, and touching. So really giving them a chance to experience it when you can. And don't underestimate the value of props and realia in the classroom, bringing in real items or whatever props you can make. One of my favorite props I like to share is just something simple like this. So I'll just have different characters. You can see I have a dog, I have a boy, I have a girl. I even have some little cute monsters. Okay, the boy and girl are the ones I'll use the most. What I'll do with the boy and girl is I'll use them when I'm going over dialogues from the textbook. So I'll show them who's speaking by raising them so they can keep track of who is speaking. Okay. I'll also use it for demonstrating the dialogue. So I will speak with them. What's your favorite food, Mary? My favorite food is spaghetti. Tom, what's your favorite food? My favorite food is pizza. Class, what's Tom's favorite food? His favorite food is pizza. What's Mary's favorite food? Her favorite food is spaghetti. So now I can get a lot more language out of that one target sentence because I have me and I have Tom and Mary who happen to be my grandparents. And I would continuously use these two characters throughout all of my classes. And what would happen is they would end up developing kind of personalities and the students would get to know them. And I could look back at that and ask that question in a future lesson, what does Tom like? Tom likes pizza. He likes playing sports. He likes this and that. Okay. The other great thing with this is that I can give them to the students. So maybe I can use my monster. And in this case, I can give the student the monster when they're speaking. So they can use this monster over their face and they can use it when they're talking. And it offers kind of like a level of security where they're speaking and now maybe they want to speak in a funny voice. Maybe they want to have fun with it and they are a monster. So I can hand these out to the students and have them speak to each other that way. Okay. Allow them to express their curiosity and creativity, as I mentioned, the creativity in the past. So that's just some quick tips that I put together based on 6 of the many characteristics of young learners. So I hope they're helpful. And if you have any questions or comments, or you want to share some of your ideas, I'd love to hear them. Have a good day.